All right. We're in the new year, 2024. Welcome back to our Tri-State Training Day podcast. We are excited to release the guest that we have today. His name is Mike Hamade. He is the Senior Vice President of FFL Orbix, and he is a crazy producer. His 2023 will blind you. Mike, 1,200 families helped. 1,200 families helped in 2023. You did not produce the whole year. And you found ways to be creative with systems and technology to launch your deal into a different stratosphere. Number one, congratulations on a heck of a year. And then number two, welcome to the podcast, man. It's exciting to have you, but I think we have plenty to talk about when we talk about a personal production year like that. And on top of it, you built an agency and put the framework for a monstrosity of an agency in place that you're looking to take to ridiculous heights as well in 2024. So let's talk about it, my man.
Let's do it.
Talk to me, man. Talk to us. You know, when did you start actually selling? I'm trying to remember. I think it was March. I could be wrong.
Yeah, March 10th officially. I became licensed at the beginning of January 2023. I was still stuck in my ways, you know, making good money, being an introvert, day trading. And I played with it for like maybe 2 days, helped about 15 families. Said, all right, you know what? My intention for this is just bill money. I really didn't see it becoming what it was. I had no plans of it becoming what it was. I swear to you, I did not. And Sam is my right-hand man. I always, you know, I like to bring him in on things. He can bear witness to that. I had my child March 5th, and I said to myself, you know what? Let me provide some comfort and stability for my wife and child, and let me not be present as much during work hours, because I don't want to set the wrong example for my son early on of what appears to be laziness. March 10th, I went and got just, you know, a little one suite, small, $550 a month, nothing, just to get away. And I started digging in around February. That's when it became a plan to just get out the house. So around February, I would chat with Kayla a little bit about different lead vendors, different approaches, different systems that were being used. And I like to take everything with a grain of salt. So I would observe, I would compare the average numbers for people that are using these type of vendors and systems on a mass scale. And to me, it was a problem. And I wanted to try something new. I tried something new. I studied for a week, and I put together my plays for a week. And I helped about 42 families that same day. It was insane. That's when I knew I cracked the code, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna dial in, you know. And then my brother was at Rocket Mortgage, and he wanted to pick something up on the side. So I told him, yo, I got this little office, it'll fit both of us. Come by here and there. Let me show you what I'm doing. Did that, and then it led to my brother-in-law calling me about, you know, a young man that works at the real estate office doing 3,000 to 5,000 dials a month. Said enough said, send him my way. I don't care about his conversion, I'll teach him. And then another friend of the family, and then it just kept happening like that. I wasn't posting, I wasn't recruiting. That one room suite, by the end of March, we needed 5 of them. By the middle of April, we occupied that entire floor, which had like 9 or 10 suites. And that's when I said, okay, we need a bigger space. So we moved into a bigger space, April 26th. It could fit about 40. Not that we had 40, we didn't. But I started working different angles of the business, such as like tech. Let me identify my introverts that are not really too good at selling, but are really great at back end, that can be useful and resourceful and can earn a good living. And it just scaled in from there, literally scaled in from there. old friends from Rocket Mortgage, Loan Depot. Hey man, blah blah blah. What have you been up to? It literally happened just like that. It happened honestly too fast, unintentionally, and we just had to adapt. It's part of sales. It's part of life. It's part of business. You have to adapt and be able to innovate.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much you just said. There's really a clinic you're teaching here, or a framework for a clinic you're teaching here. And so I want to unpack pieces of it so we can extract value. And I'm looking at, you know, it's funny how, Mike, you were more than ready for a real opportunity, right? Like more than ready. Like, because as soon as it started rolling, you knew what to do, you know, or if you didn't know what to do, you reacted anyway. And so where did you learn to think that big? Because, you know, what taught you how to kind of dial in your thought process as a guy whose systems and organization, but then also vision?
It's a great question. It has to do a lot with upbringing, environment that created that mentality of bigger approaches. I don't want to be like the rest. You know, I realized at a young age, you know, I had dropped at my time, you could test out of high school. So I tested out of high school at the age of 16, and I tried college, and I was caught in between, do I want to be an attorney or do I want to be maybe a radiologist? I'm looking at salaries at that point, the young mentality. Let me find the money, which is the wrong approach.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in my first semester, I challenged myself to show that I'm not stupid, because all throughout school, I got E's. And it wasn't because I was stupid, it was because I really did not find it interesting and did not want to comply with whatever the rules were. So when I went to college, I knew that mentality approach of bigger picture of I don't need to be an attorney to have my hand in a law firm, and I don't need to be a doctor to have my hand in a clinic. I just need good credit and business strategy. So I dropped out, and as they say, you know, I won't curse on here, but you know what the saying is, I messed around and found out. And developed that mentality.
I can't, dog. That was too much for my soul. My ribs hurt immediately. I started laughing. That's crazy. Okay, I'm listening.
So life experience, new money syndrome. We all have probably gone through that at one point in our lives. Me, unfortunately, and fortunately, it happened at a very young age. When you go through growing pains, you only have two options. One is give up and become a pessimist, or two is bring back the beast inside of you to attract the right vibrations. And I just started doing everything and anything to completely act as if and believe. And I took the opportunity at Rocket Mortgage when it was hot, pre-IPO. And based on observation, based on that mentality of do I want to be a doctor, an attorney, to owning a law firm or owning a clinic, that mentality built within me while I was at Rocket. I noticed, again, I've probably said this 1,000 times, saturated industry, broken process, find a streamlined solution, monopolize control. It's that easy. And I've tried that approach with many things. They've been successful. The only ones that have been unsuccessful is when I didn't know my reality and I would be too overconfident to the point where it was unrealistic. And I just grew as a man. And I saw that same opportunity with life insurance as a man to mature, mentally stable and emotionally stable individual. And it worked out. It really came from experience and trials and tribulations.
So you had something else that you were involved with before that you started making it rain financially.
Yes, and I can proudly say that I screwed that up by not being disciplined, by thinking that it's going to last forever, by counting my chickens before they hatch.
Mm-hmm.
just living life one day at a time, which is reckless, but beautiful. When you learn those things young, it shapes you into a man. And you can become a gentleman and a business owner, and you can teach the things that you learned the hard way for the people around you that keep the lights on, show them that same love, and hopefully protect them and shield them from having to go through those experiences. And now you replicate you, and they replicate them, and it becomes a domino effect, and you become a big unit. And that's why our goals are so high for this year.
Makes sense. And so, where did trading come into place? Was that a hobby? Was that something that you just had general interest in? You had general skill in? Did you make it rain doing that, or was that like a go between to this?
Great questions. It initially came from intuition. When COVID had happened, I looked at it as a shift in economics. There's a bigger purpose for this. This is what makes the market move. This is an opportunity. And I began to learn about it. When I learn about something, learning from being overconfident and mistakes happening, I don't go in, even though I have the mentality that I'm going to be Jordan of this, I still got to listen to Phil Jackson. So took on a mentor. My intuition versus his technical analysis was almost always right, but I didn't want to outshine the master or overstep my boundaries. I'm still new. So I took some losses in the beginning, and then one day, after taking a break, said I'll come back to this. I'll learn some things on my own, try to do this myself. When Trump tweeted he had COVID, I had just created my Twitter or re-downloaded it. I had like no followers. I only followed Trump, and I set alerts on because I felt like he was a market mover. He tweeted he had COVID. I shorted the Dow Jones. I 3x my money, and 5 minutes. It was crazy. And then the whole Moderna thing and vaccine stuff came out, and I bought up. And that's when I said, okay, the way to properly day trade is not to go in on small time frames, but it's to look at what the economy is doing, technical analysis, where institutions are buying at, where there's unfilled liquidity, and look at the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, etc. So from there, instead of actively going into the market, I would wait for the market to come to me, and it started working. And anytime I ever lost, it was because I treated that buy as different. I would go in compulsively, FOMO, learned. And trading made me mentally and emotionally savage, I feel. It just takes a different breed to handle that when you see the charts going crazy. So I did well. I did very well. I was able to just not work for a good year and a half, just off reserves, live my life, travel, etc. But that's no way to live when you have a child and a wife at home, So I had to get on and get active.
It's crazy. The temptations of life and finances and the lifestyle, especially young, you literally are psyching yourself out to be a shot caller, that you can do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. And like you said, it's not really a way to live. And so you find life insurance, and you find what you sense what it is: systems, organization, visionary, and things just start moving. Space, we're out of this space, we got to move to another space, we got to get more of this, we got to get more of this, we got to get computers, we got to get people. I got to move the thinkers into the back end, and some of the salespeople into the front end, and position and strategize. And now you've got a machine. And so you also have learned from stubbing your toe and tasting success, but not being able to ride it for long periods, or making mistakes, or doing things that wasn't going to translate to long term. And now you have a machine in life insurance with all the things you've learned that feels really long term, no?
It does. I was in a very lucrative business from 2018 to 2021. I was in auto injury. I owned clinics, and that happened just off coming up with a streamlined process for practice management, billing, and credentialing, and things like that. And that business had me learn a lot of lessons about how your friends are not always your friends. You don't have to help every family member because they do it to themselves, and they're going to keep doing it to themselves, and you enable them. So there's a lot of lessons learned in business from growing too fast and, of course, crashing too fast. And all of that transcended into this. And I love this business. It's recession proof. A lot of people say the cliche statement, I love helping people. Don't lie, you love paying your bills too. And for me, what I love about it is good business. You are literally helping people make money on their money while being provided with death protection to protect their family for when they lose that money or not have that money. And that to me is good business. It's a win-win. You don't lie to clients and say, yeah, I'm just here to help you. I'm not a waiter, I'm a financial professional. We're going to make a living or an earning off of this phone call. And that is my objective. That's called good business. It's the truth.
It is, but you're just I can't even have, I don't have the words. Everyone knows what I'm talking about right now who's listening. But keep going.
Those approaches, they work, man. They work.
Yes, they do.
And I love that. Especially when you have a lot of experience in life. You know about taxes, you know about income, you know about brackets, you know about property, real estate, PMI, MIP, depletion, depreciation, et cetera, et cetera. You know about assets, you know about 401ks, you know about IRAs, you know about stocks, bonds, securities, yields, everything. And you find a product that has downside protection, one of only two products in the whole financial sector. I mean, it's a no-brainer. What are you paying for? You're not. And when you talk to your clients, I have what I've been teaching my team and I've been embedding very heavy into their head is something I call I.P.A.D, income, property, assets, debt. Those are four things that we have to discuss with a client. Sam had called me on the 31st on Sunday, and he's like, hey, I have a client tomorrow at 9 a.m. Like, it's the first. He's like, I know, but it's a big one. And I'd really appreciate if you took this call from me, bro. I was like, I'll only take the call for you if you're going to wake up and meet me at the office as well and learn some things. When going through the I.P.A.D with the client, what did we discover? He makes 80 grand a year, taxable. So call it 5,400 a month. Doesn't include Social Security wages, Medicare wages, etc., state tax, right? He owns a property. This is a small mortgage. It's 45, 50 grand in equity. Wife doesn't work. Disabled daughter with children that lives with him whom he just co-signed on a home for. There's another expense. All in all, we realize he's broke. He has nothing left at the end of the month, but he has 4,800 in his 401k. He contributes 206 biweekly, and he has life insurance through his job. My pitch is then tailored to him. Listen, Josh, I'm not here to financially burden you, man. And giving you life insurance and adding another payment, even though we know you need it, given everything we just discussed, it's going to financially burden you. So how about we take everything you're doing right now and don't change anything other than diversify? Rather than contributing 206 biweekly to your 401k, you're going to cut that in half. Now you're going to pay 206 a month on this. By 64, you'll have that in cash value. You'll be able to draw against it. Now you have two portfolios. You trust your 401k, trust this, you have no risk, et cetera, et cetera. What the call ended up leading to is him taking his 4,800 out of his 401k to pay off his Capital One and pay off 350 a month, free up some cash flow. And then him telling me that, hey, Mike, forget this 206 a month. Let's get rid of my life insurance with my job. I'm freeing up 350 a month from Capital One. Forget my 401k. It doesn't have downside protection. He's only being matched at 5%. We cut out his 401k. We paid off some, he's going to pay off some debt when he gets his money from, withdrawing, surrendering it. Obviously, might be some penalties, whatever it is, to $515 a month. $6,144 annual premium for a client that could not afford to even have policy. All we did was diversify what he's already doing. And that's why it's important that people dig deep on these. What I notice a lot of agents do is they become order takers. They do it for the sake of qualification. And they don't have a strong introduction or a foreshadow to a brand name. Mark, I'm going to ask you some unconventional questions that are based around your income, property, assets, and debts. This allowed me to become the top selling IUL agent in the country for 2023, not because I treat my clients like statistics and numbers, but because I tailor their policy to them. So tell me, what do you do for a living, brother? You know, these are little things that matter.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really trying to teach the team. So every day from 10 to 11, we cover one. Tuesday, we covered income. Wednesday, we covered property. Today, we covered assets. Tomorrow, we'll cover debts. Monday, we'll go through the whole play. Everybody is putting together their personal brand and foreshadow and their pivot. And I tell my agents the same thing. Do not be fake. I need you to tell me the number one thing that you love about yourself without thinking. What's the first thing that comes off the top of your head? And we incorporate that into their brand. So it's authentic. Clients can see that energy.
Yeah.
Hence the reason you don't say, hey, I'm here to help. No, I'm here to help you make money on your money and also make money as well from it. Good business.
Yeah. The approach is real, it's genuine, it's honest, and it's accurate. So I love that. And so you scaled that to the tune of, 1,200 families in 2023, which is, again, in 9 months. So that's very unusual. That's a very inordinate amount of families in 9 months. And so now you're taking that you're already teaching on how you're helping agents, with the mindset around this. And so when you think about, your agency and the things you're doing there, I know you have goals for 2024. What's your agency goal for 2024?
35,000 families helped.
35,000 families helped for the year 2024.
Correct.
That's crazy. And so that's also, but that's the visionary in you, and the systems that you're going to put in place. How are you guys recruiting? What are you doing to bring on the agent force that you have?
That's a great question. This is going to sound so crazy. I have my top players. We have about 18,000 square feet of space right now, and we all contribute to it. I have my biggest players in their own office, and in front of their own office, they have the high-low desks, 2 monitors, all for the agents. We're bringing agents in with no startup cost to them. We will cover everything, but we have an independent contractor agreement where there's either a retail model or an independent model. You come in at the independent model, we will give you all the resources you need that has been proven to work, such as the technology, everything. You cover your own costs though. We help you set up your brand, everything, right? Things as little as using a Gmail versus actually having a domain email is important to look like. So the independent model is we take agents that are ready to invest with themselves. We bring them in, we train them, get them everything that they need to go with, right? And we put them on a platform for a month at least, where we cover everything until they learn the business, and then they go ahead and do their thing. That hasn't really been the case because I don't know what's wrong with people these days. There's not many business owner mentalities, and that's okay. So what we've been doing is just focusing on what we have now. Once they become masters at what they do, we have a plan for the next 30 days to make them masters at what they do, because we grew so fast. And what also comes with that type of growth is growing pains. We got stuck with a horrible landlord. The heating and cooling would always go out. It'd be 100 degrees in there while it's freezing outside. We had to move on a whim, growing pains. So we really just got everybody back in here December 1st, caught back up on everything we missed out on from October and November. And now that we're there, we're building everybody that's in here to become monsters. We're not taking on new agents for the next 30 days, other than getting them into course registration and being ready within the next 30 or 60 days. Let everybody recover, become a master at what they do, bring those people into the office. So we want to build in-house as strong as possible and then start being virtual with it.
Wow.
Kind of different on the approach, but
I mean, look, one thing I'm not going to do, again, you're the expert here, giving knowledge on the things you're doing that's working. I ain't looking. I'm learning right now, and that's why I said wow, because the amount of transfer of belief from you to your agent force has to be on a 9-10. And so they're acting out some of the things that you acted out in 2023 now, which is a whole different beast, And so that might be a model that is revolutionary of taking, again, you have a lot of warm market, right? People that you knew. Yeah, so it's taking like-minded individuals and putting them in a position to see some of the scale that you saw. And now it's harder to do that when you don't know the people. Much harder.
Mark, I swear if I could take my computer up and show you this office, it's beautiful. The family environment we have in here. People show up between 7:30 and 9 a.m. consistently, ready to go, ready to learn, ready to work. And they don't leave. Some people are, they're on 9 to 5, but that's gorgeous for independent contractors. You don't really get that. You get people from home that will just want to make enough and have freedom. These people are hungry. They're driven. They damn near act like they're W-2 at their own will, which is gorgeous. And I love this team, man. We got a crazy family in here.
Dude, you guys are going to crush 2020. I have zero doubt. You guys are going to crush it. Just watching everything you've done, the way you flow, the way you move, your attention to detail, the focus you have in different areas, the skill set that you have in different areas. I'm excited to watch and see exactly how this thing unfolds. You say 2024, you're going to invest more time in your team, more time in the players, and less time with clients, but kind of find some type of balance. A lot of people do that when they're looking to make a jump as big as this because of the time, energy, and focus, money that needs to be invested in and watched over for you to have this kind of scale. So the cool thing is you've modeled it. You made a boatload of change in 2023. That's allowing you to have the freedom to do that. And that's really what we recommend for people. Some people do it with no money, which is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And it's so hard because they're always washing money. And in your situation, you built up a nice nest egg to give you the freedom to go and dive right in and pour in all your people. So, man, listen, I continue to be impressed. Continue to be excited for what's coming for you guys and how ridiculous this can get. We're going to touch base and continue to figure out how to crack any potential bottlenecks that may be in the way. But with your ambition level and your skill level and your desire to see people win, I ain't getting in the way of that, bro. That's like a locomotive.
I take your coaching very well, man. And I do look up to you. So anything that you feel is good for me or my business, I'm always open to it.
So you're the man, brother. 2024, look out. Orbix is coming through. So appreciate you sharing as always, buddy. Rookie of the Year, 2023 Tri-State Rookie of the Year. So you can only imagine what things are coming from this guy. Because if you're the Rookie of the Year, then usually your second year, you smack a lot of people around. So I'm getting out the way. Mike Hamade, keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you, buddy.
My brother, I'll see you. Thank you.
God bless.